Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. A warm welcome once again to the man standing beside me in the commentary box for this session, Anthony Davidson. Hello, Ant. Excited to get underway?
Yeah, absolutely. I always look forward to seeing the cars get out there on track. They probably won't be on the limit immediately, of course. We know that one or two of the teams are looking to do some work on new aerodynamic packages, so that always takes some time to get into. But it'll be really interesting to see later on in the session what kind of performance gains are there to be found.
Rosberg, thank you for joining us for free practice today. We'll be back with more Formula One action very shortly. Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. Watching some of the cars attack the high-speed corners, it occurred to me that this might be one of the more awkward tracks to prepare a car for. Do you go for top speed over grip, or do you look to maximise performance in all the corners?
It's easy to make your car quick in a straight line, you just take all the downforce off. But when it comes to a track like this, you really need a bit more of a compromise. The main focus here is carrying speed through the fast-flowing corners, but you still don't want to be a sitting duck on the straight.
That last lap puts you into P8.
As we wind down from the excitement of qualifying, here's a look at your top three. Rosberg, Hamilton and Daniel Ricciardo. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then. They say that even a second is an eternity in Formula One, so going 4 winter months with no racing at all has seemed a very long time indeed. We're back though in Melbourne, home of the Australian Grand Prix since 1996. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula 1 cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
Keep your eyes open on the run to turn 1 and keep it clean. We want to come out in one piece. Good luck.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Nico Rosberg will start his Silver Arrow from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ricciardo, Häkkinen, Max Verstappen and Bottas, Gutierrez, Massa, Vettel and Sergio Perez, Hülkenberg, Grosjean, a McLaren and Button, Sainz, Kvyat, Felipe Nasser and Jolyon Palmer, Magnussen and Ericsson, Pascal Wehrlein and Rio Haryanto completes the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
Another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. And I have to wonder, Anthony Davidson, just what set them apart from the competition here.
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
Well, this is it. This is where they all want to be. Here come the top three then, out onto the podium after a fascinating Grand Prix. And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Nico Rosberg takes over the lead of the drivers' championship after that excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Well, Jolyon Palmer did a great job coming through the field today, so my vote goes to him.
And now let's take a look at the Constructors Standings. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.